Those who are aspiring to write civil service exam in the year 2026-2027, CSB-IS Academy is starting a new batch on April 23rd on Wednesday. The new name of the batch is Vishwavasu. As this is a Telugu New Year this year, Vishwavasu batch we are launching on April 23rd with our auspicious name. Those who are interested to take coaching online or offline in English medium, they can approach CSB-IS Academy. They can directly come to the Hyderabad and take coaching, or they can access this coaching online also. This coaching, the time frame of this coaching is 11 months, and we cover all the subjects with respect to prelims and mains. Those who are really interested to take coaching for civil services, they can access CSB-IS Academy through these phone numbers. They can call, they can ask their queries. The phone numbers are displayed on the in front of the video and also in the comments box of the video. Thank you. Phone numbers and further details can be found in the description box below the video. Interested candidates who want to join this course can fill the Google form which is given in the description box below the video.
Hello and welcome everyone. Let's start today's important news. Most of the newspaper of today, they have reported about US which is threatening to both Ukraine and Russia if the peace deal is not going to be reached in next 30 days, then they may exit from the peace deal which is broke by US President Donald Trump. Since Donald Trump came into the power, he is looking towards the Russia-Ukraine issue from the transaction point of view. He is looking towards Ukraine. US have provided billions of the dollar as an assistance to Ukraine. Now he want a payback, and he want the minerals, critical minerals which are in the huge deposit in Ukraine. He want access those. In the exchange of those money which is provided by US to Ukraine for their effort to prevent Russia to control that country. But US can access those minerals only when there will be no war. And this is why now Donald Trump want peace. And for that purpose, he have put his Secretary of State, Mr. Rubio, for this process. And yesterday, he have made this comment, if the peace will be not broke out, then he will step out of that peace process, which is going to create more vulnerability for Ukraine. But at the same time, Russia is also under pressure to have a deal so that peace can be established, and Russia, which is facing lot of sanctions by US and Western countries, when this peace process will be culminated and peace will be established, maybe Russia can come out of those sanctions and have a normal economic things what they do have before the war. So this is why all the parties are interested, but conflictual interest, who is going to get what, is a thing which is making this peace deal complex. So you have to keep a close eye on this matter, and we are also going to have a detail on this matter. Whenever the new update will come, we will update you also. Another news is coming from US again, and this time it is related to US and India and the organization known as Babbar Khalsa International. Whenever we have seen regarding separatist movement for the Punjab, the Khalistan movement. So we have heard many times about the Khalistan movement, which is happening in certain parts of Canada, some parts of US, Australia and New Zealand. But in the recent time, we have not heard this organization, Babbar Khalsa International. So Babbar Khalsa International is another organization banned by India, and it is also designated as a terrorist organization by India. The operatives of these Babbar Khalsa International, they are roaming in certain countries, for example, US and Canada. But yesterday, Federal Bureau of Investigation of US has arrested Happy Pasai. Happy Pasai is a designated terrorist. He is involved in many of the grenade attacks in India. In 2016-17, he was on run, and by the next year, he was able to manage to go to Pakistan. And from Pakistan, he got an help and assistance from Inter-Surveillance Agency, ISI, the notorious agency of Pakistan, which involves in many of the terrorist operations in India. With the help of ISI, he was able to move to US, and from there he was running his operations. But a big achievement for the India and US relation, US have worked on the tips provided by the Indian security agencies, and he was arrested by the FBI. Now, India may proceed for the extradition of this terrorist, and it will have a clear message for those separatist organizations. And in fact, Babbar Khalsa and the Khalistan movement, Babbar Khalsa International, it is involved in many of the smuggling and trafficking business. So they are not just demanding for the separate state of Khalistan, but to fund those activities, they are involved in many of the illegal activities, especially the drug cartel. So they are not just a separatist organization, they also poses a severe threat on the safety and security of the country. This is why this organization is in the news, in the most of the newspaper in today's news. Next news is coming from Bangladesh. Since the downfall of Sheikh Hasina, Prime Minister of Bangladesh, since her fall and the rise of Chief Advisor of the interim government, Muhammad Yunus, the relation between India and Bangladesh are deteriorating day by day. First, the attacks on minorities in Bangladesh, Hindu minorities. Then the statement made by Muhammad Yunus in China, as they have portrayed themselves as a guardian of the seas in the Bay of Bengal region. Now, an unwanted comment by their press secretary on riots in Murshidabad, West Bengal. Unfortunate event of Murshidabad riots happened, and because of that, Bangladesh jumped into that issue, and they have made a statement that India need to protect the minorities, Muslim minorities in their country. But they have not seen themselves. So, Indian government, Ministry of External Affairs have given a strong reply to them, and ministry have said that Bangladesh first look itself about their minorities and their issues rather than looking outward approach. Countries like Bangladesh, Pakistan, they are doing all the atrocities on their minorities, and they are not handling those issues efficiently. And they are pointing India to look over their minorities. India is a second populist country in terms of Muslim population after Indonesia. So it is a home of Muslims, the biggest country, second biggest country where Muslims are there and they are living happily and peacefully. But these so-called guardians of the Muslims, they are keep interfering in the India's affair. Time to time, whenever they will get opportunity, they try to put fingers towards India. And India always reply in a strong manner. They are not supposed to make this issue. They should look inward approach. It is also said by India when Pakistan have put an allegation in the Balochistan Indian involvement is there. So India need to tell them every time that they should look inwards rather than looking outwards. In fact, every country to look inwards when it is about an issue of their minorities. But if certain case arise, then we have to go to certain platforms like United Nations, where you have to raise the voice for the avoiding any human rights violation. In this context, the statement given by the Bangladesh was completely unfortunate, and Bangladesh in the transit government, they should avoid such kind of the things to speak in the public, and especially when the relation with India is already deteriorating. Next news coming from India and US. Yesterday, Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, have spoke with US billionaire Elon Musk, who is also working as an advisor to US government for efficiency of the US government. And apart from working with the US government, he is also entrepreneur and having multiple business, including space, communication, and other technologies, including cars. So the talk between India, Prime Minister of India, and Elon Musk was basically based on more technological cooperation by Tesla and Elon Musk other companies with respect to India. Elon Musk company Starlink is looking to have an opportunity in India to provide a satellite communication based internet, whereas at the same time they are also looking to introduce their car Tesla in India. Whereas India is also looking forward to have a deeper cooperation in the space program, because Elon Musk company SpaceX, they have achieved many of the milestones in the space cooperation sector. So this is why the both sides are keen to have a more cooperation. So in this context, the talk between Prime Minister and Elon Musk is have a significance, and we can see some big announcement may come in next few days regarding Tesla's entry and the entry of Starlink in India. Next news is coming from Supreme Court's ruling. Supreme Court have ruled that a home buyer have a right to protest peacefully. Yes. Do we have a right to protest peacefully? Supreme Court said yes, you do have a right to protest peacefully, and you have a right to protest peacefully against the builder also. The case coming from Mumbai, where a Shruti developer, they have developed a residential complex, but the people who have purchased their home in that complex, they are not happy with certain things with respect to the seller, the builder, and they have meet and they have tried to rectify those issues, but builder have not responded. Then the resident of that complex have took a unique method. They have put a banners on the top of the building which is mentioning the name of builder, and all those shortcomings which is done by the builder, they have put on the top of the building, and it is visible from even 2 kilometers. So after seeing this, builder have went to the court and he said that these home buyers are trying to mingle my image, they are trying to tarnish my image, and I won't go for a criminal proceeding against them. Case was registered. Then these home buyers who have purchased that home there, they are being summoned by the court. After getting the summon, they went to the court, but they have not get any relief. Then they have moved to the High Court of Bombay. Again, they have not get any relief. Then they do not have any option. They went to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has given the ruling. Home buyers are having a fundamental right to speech, and it cannot be considered as a criminal offense. So over the year, Supreme Court is very vocal about the right to speech, whether this case of home buyers or recently the case of comedian Kunal Kamra. So over the years, Supreme Court in the various judgment is trying to assert the right to speech and against any kind of the defamation thing. So this judgment is also important, right to speech and right to protest peacefully. The point is, right to protest peacefully is a right of a person under Article 19. Next news is coming from Indo-US space cooperation. Here, two important news are there. Number one is our astronaut, Indian astronaut, Captain Subhanshu Shukla. He is going to be the part of XM4 mission. Under this mission, astronauts are going to dock in International Space Station. So Captain Subhanshu Shukla is going to be the second astronaut from India to go in the space. First was Rakesh Sharma. He went to the space 4 decades back. Now Subhanshu Shukla, Captain Subhanshu Shukla is going to be the second astronaut, and he is also a designated astronaut for Gaganyaan mission. So before executing the Gaganyaan mission, he is going to get a good experience to be in the space. And under this, the XM4 mission, which is going to launch in the May, somewhere around the first week or second week of the May, he will go to the International Space Center, and he is going to be the first Indian to be in the International Space Station. Though he's the second astronaut to reach in the space from the India, but he is going to be the first astronaut from India to reach the International Space Station, where he will remain there for 13 days to executing certain complex mission under the International Space Center. Second news regarding space is coming in the form of Indo-US space cooperation. NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar satellite. So NASA and ISRO, they have collaborated and they have decided to launch a satellite jointly. But even after 1.5 years, the program was not moving. Now finally the good news is coming, and NASA and ISRO have decided to launch this satellite somewhere around in the middle of June. This synthetic aperture radar is going to provide a crucial data for the activities related to agriculture as well as for better prediction of the weather. And it is also going to strengthen the cooperation between India and US in the space as well as related technologies. Tariq Albani, he is a chair of Intergovernmental Negotiation on United Nations Security Council reform. He is in India and he made a statement. I'll read a statement for you. He said that India is inevitable for any kind of UN Security Council reforms. He made this statement when he was in India, and he said that until unless India is going to be the part of United Nations Security Council, there is no meaning of any kind of the Security Council reform. World is targeting to have a United Nations Security Council reform by 2030. But in his visit, he made two statements. One is very positive. He has mentioned that India is inevitable, but at the same time, he also mentioned that there is no surety whether the United Nations Security Council reform are going to be completed by 2030. But many countries, even 3 days back, France have again asserted that they are looking for India as a permanent member along with the veto power, and they have extended their support for India's candidature in United Nations Security Council. Majority of the countries, they are agreeing for the expansion of the Security Council, and they are also agreeing India's candidature. But the existing P5 countries, they are not willing to share the veto power which they do have. So the main issue is who is going to be the part of Security Council's permanent member of Security Council as a permanent member, and what method should be there, and the new members are going to be having a power to veto or not. So these are the issues which is being a point of discussion, and for that purpose they have established an intergovernmental panel, and the head of intergovernmental panel is visiting the different countries in order to develop the consensus, and for that purpose he was in India recently. US-Iran talks. Since Donald Trump became a president, he is consistently maintaining a statement on Iran nuclear issue. He was a person who came out of the deal which was broke between Iran and Western countries in 2015. But he broke that deal and he walked out from that negotiation. But now again, when he became a president, he want deal should be negotiated on his terms. Iran is not skeptical but not very willing to deal. But then Oman have mediated for both, and Oman mediated talks have started. The first round of talk was not so fruitful, but both parties have agreed to go for the second round. And now the time for the second round of talk, and before the talk is going to start, both parties are making hostile comments. US is saying that if the deal will be not broken, then military action is always an option which they do not want. But if the deal will not broken, then they will not hesitate. So this is the kind of statement given by one party, that is US. Whereas Iran is also saying that US is not looking serious for these talks, because rather than talking positively, they are trying to threaten, and they are trying to just broke the process. So this is the kind of statements are coming from both sides. Iran gradually showing its willingness, but US under Donald Trump is using maximum pressure tactics, and under this maximum pressure tactic, they want a favorable deal. But many instances are there when this maximum pressure tactic converted and resulted into no result. So let's see how it will go on, and if the deal will be broken, definitely more peace will be in the region, and it will stabilize the global economy by stabilizing the movement of goods from that region plus the prices of fuel, which is very essential, especially for a country like India. So in this context, though the talks are very fragile, but still they have a lot of significance, and we have to keep a close eye on such issues.